Man, very appreciative taking the time to kick it with me, dog.
Of course.
All right, what up? This is Little Puff. Today we got one of the coolest motherfuckers ever on the show. Great friend of mine. Honestly, an angel among men, dude. This guy is humanitarian, a veteran, um, a cool guy. Buff as a motherfucker. It's crazy. What has it been like? How long has it been
Dude,
since
it's
I've
it's
seen you,
been
dude?
it's been a solid minute. It's been over 2 years, I would say.
And like when I saw him, he could fit into a large T-shirt. Now, like, there's no motherfucking way, dude. There's no
These clothes
motherfucking
can't
way,
can't contain me.
dude. They really can't, bro. They really can't, man. But how's life been since coming back to the States, man? This guy just came back to the States not too long ago from the Ukraine. Spent
Hmm.
some time in the Ukraine, in Kiev.
All around. I
All over.
travel. Yeah, Kiev is the capital of Ukraine. I spent time there in Lviv, Kiev. I went I went out east. I went to a few different locations there.
So, like, what was your main reason for going, dude?
Humanitarian work. I co-founded and help run a humanitarian organization. I co-founded it back in February 2022, or one of the first humanitarian organizations to actually step foot, legal humanitarian organizations, 501c3s, to step foot there in
Shout out.
Ukraine. Yeah, that was my purpose going there. I was documenting things. I was conducting kind of. I was basically going to a lot of the organizations that we fund and assist, and I was getting updates from them. I was checking to see what their needs were, um, conducting some interviews here and there, and just spending time there, understanding the culture. I went there by myself. I was supposed to go there with a bit of a film crew, but unfortunately they had to drop out last minute. So it was my first time like traveling solo out of country, and traveling solo out of country, dude, by
I
yourself
bet that's
to a place.
trippy.
Yeah, no, to a
Active.
place you've
Was it?
never.
Were you in an active war zone, or were you more in like civilization?
Technically, all of Ukraine is an active war zone. It's
Okay,
all just being bombed.
getting
While I was
learned.
there in Kiev, it got bombed right next to where I was a few different times. So yeah, kind of all of
How was
Ukraine.
how was getting bombed, dude?
Uh, I didn't really have many emotions towards it, mainly because I mean you're there and it's almost normal, and it's sad, but their air raid sirens go off, and you'll see a lot of them typically flee underneath into the subways, and it goes on for a little bit. To me, I didn't really have many emotions towards it. I don't know why. I'm sure I'd feel differently if I were out there on the front lines actually fighting. But being there in the cities, traveling all over, I don't know why. Just didn't have many emotions about getting bombed. It just happened, and I was just sitting there and feeling the vibrations, seeing it, and I was just like, huh,
Feeling the
okay,
vibration. That's
okay,
like you whenever you listening to a good song, dude. Like what
yeah.
you mean? It's like, yeah, this
I'm
is
just
nice.
feeling
This is
it.
a good one, man. Yeah, this is nice. How would you say like after going to the Ukraine, man,
Hmm.
like or just Ukraine? Now everybody says the Ukraine, like that's
Yeah, they call it just Ukraine now. It used to be the Ukraine, but
no
yeah,
for
they
real.
call
That
it.
used to
Yeah.
be a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Everybody
okay,
used to call it the Ukraine.
okay.
I was actually watching the movie 2012 last night, and before the boxing match occurred with the Russian billionaire who was cheering on the Ukrainian boxer. The boxing announcer, he announced it as I forget his name, so and so from the Ukraine. But that was in 2010, whenever that movie came out. So yeah, ever since then, and now it's just called Ukraine, its own sovereign nation.
Man, I hope the Ukraine sees this
Hmm.
and they're like, man, those guys are really putting on for us right now, man. Like, yeah. So, how would you say like life afterwards
Hmm.
is like? How would you say going there, coming back, has changed? Like you as a person, or just how you see uh, the work that you get into?
If anything, it's made me more compassionate, more determined, I suppose you could say. Just seeing everything firsthand, face to face, experiencing people. I went to Protest Foundation. Let me make sure I got that name right. I always mix them up with another foundation. I think it's called Protest, though. I'm pretty sure, because we've helped fund, yeah, Protest Foundation. So Protest Foundation, create they create prosthetics for wounded Ukrainians. They do it for children as well. There's a lot of children. So there are these things called butterfly mines that Russians deployed early on in the war. Basically, they deploy this the system and it shoots out a bunch of these butterfly mines. They come down. It's almost like those helicopters that you see falling down from the tree.
Yeah.
Swirl down and they land on the ground and they're pressure sensitive. So when somebody steps on it, it blows. It can blow up. Blow off your toes, blow off your feet. A lot of kids were getting their feet blown off, and we early on in the war we actually sent a foot surgeon there, who just worked on countless children. It was freaking tragic to hear about, but yeah, overall, like coming back, seeing that stuff, being able to go to Protest Foundation and just kind of witness the work that they do and see just kind of the toll. They had a bunch of pictures up of Ukrainians, children, stuff like that, missing limbs, and yeah, it really it's much different. I've done just remote work, since 2022, but then once I went there last year, you know, things kind of changed as far as my um, level of motivation, I suppose you could say.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, with would you say it's escalating more, or would you say it's de-escalating right now? And with
Mm-hmm.
either or, like, where do you see the direction of like kind of like the world as a whole going from
Mm-hmm.
this conflict between Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
Russia, and then China, Taiwan, and then
Mm-hmm.
now um, Pakistan and India?
Mm-hmm.
So, do you see it gonna consistently escalate
Mm-hmm.
more, or are we gonna see it a de-escalation there, or just in world politics in general, man?
Yeah, I mean, so is kind of evolved the entire landscape of warfare overall, especially with the proliferation of kind of drone warfare. It's kind of just evolved everything, and then that keeps on evolving because people find new ways to counteract drones in various capacities. Right now, you have a uptick of fiber optic drones that are connected to these fiber optic cables. That way, they can bypass the jamming systems that are utilized in order to jam the drone from the user, and it takes the drone down. Now they can't do that since the drones are directly connected using fiber optic cables. So, just that as an example, as the speed at which the kind of landscape is changing. In just a few years, it went from
Under
no drones,
traditional style
yeah,
war to like
traditional style. There was drones here and there, and then there was a huge uptake in drones. People started using those suicide drones, stuff like that, and then you see those being counteracted using jamming devices, cutting off the user from the drones, and now you see fiber optics being used, and it's going to keep on evolving. It's right now what we're seeing in this war is we're seeing um, just how far we can really take it as far as advancements go. But overall, when it comes to escalation, de-escalation, what we're seeing is you're seeing a fluctuation. Right? There's escalation, de-escalation, escalation, de-escalation. Right now, I think it's kind of at an upward angle. So in the sometimes in the stock market you see up down. But what you're looking for is you're looking for that up and down, and you're seeing if it's gradually going up.
building up. And,
So it's still going up. So right now, right now it looks like it's going up because Putin just refuses to show up to the table to actually discuss peace.
Right.
Zelensky's the only one willing to show up and actually negotiate peace. Putin just has no desire to. He acted like he wanted to, and I understand the Trump administration. I understand they have to take a very impartial stance when it comes to this. So that's why you see in the beginning, it's like, oh, he's not calling Putin a terrorist or any of that. Well, there's a strategic reason for that.
Right.
If you do that, then you're throwing away your negotiation You're throwing away all your negotiation tools. It's like, you think Putin's going to listen to somebody who's out there calling him a terrorist? No,
Well,
he's
with
not going to listen to him. But he's not listening to him regardless right now, anyway. So,
with even that being said,
mm-hmm,
like, what could you say the direction could be for like Americans or just America in general from
mm-hmm.
what like some sources are calling a tariff war or like being an economic strategy to kind of ice out other countries.
An economic strategy to ice out other. So you're saying as far as economic strategy goes, he's trying to get other countries to pour all their funding and resources into this war, so they have a lack of resources. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying that the direction that it could be going, do you think it could escalate more moods if the tariffs continue?
Um, okay. So as far as tariffs go, tariffs are being used as a negotiation type strategy. So I agree with them overall. U.S. has been dogged on. They've been undercut. We've been, getting wrecked by tariffs on other countries, and
Right.
it's like it's kind of ridiculous. I agree with this administration and how they're utilizing tariffs. It's like all these other countries, you see them getting so upset about it, but it's just like, okay, you guys sure can dish it out, but you can't take it back. It's like, okay, then maybe you shouldn't dish it out to begin with, and call it even. And that's kind of what's happening there. I agree with the tactics overall. I think it's going to, in the future, in a few more years, it's going to set the U.S. up for a better economic trajectory overall.
More of like a known normal for Americans, would you say? Is that what we're getting built up to be? It's just more of a known normal to what we're used to with or prices just not being so high,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
honestly,
there's a
prices
long
just
term
being so
there's
high,
yeah
man.
there's a long term strategy to this, and that long term strategy is to bring more jobs back into the U.S. and getting more jobs into American hands, and just creating overall a better, stronger kind of economy, and how would you say more? Was I gonna let's see. Actually, a U.S. that's overall just in a stronger posture economically. Like I said, you've had all the U.S. is the bulk of NATO superpower, for example. It's the bulk of NATO power, the bulk of funding inside of NATO. So you know, overall, I'm no economist, but I think overall it's just going to be a really good kind of long term type thing. And I don't think we're going to keep on seeing these price fluctuations for too much longer.
God dang, dude. I hope not, bro. I hope not, man.
Yeah, I think it's
Because
worth
this
it
is,
in the short term. In the short term, it's worth it because you have to give some in order to get some back, right? That's with a lot of things.
I
Yeah.
can understand the stance for sure.
Hmm.
Just as a day to day guy who doesn't know like a
Hmm.
huge amount about politics,
Hmm.
man,
Yeah. I'm. Yeah.
I'm cool with whatever you guys got going on. I
Hmm.
don't mind. Just at home, make it a
Hmm.
little bit easier for me, man.
Yeah.
I just want to
Well, that's the
afford
overall
life,
goal. Yeah,
man.
that's the overall goal, right? The overall goal is to make a life in general just more affordable for Americans, because we've seen everybody. So this has been the thing for the past few decades. Everybody in my generation, your generation, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we're the same generation, millennials.
I
Yeah,
think
like
so.
everybody
I'm
has been
pretty sure
just
you're
saying,
younger than me.
"Am I?
I'm pretty sure you're like
Oh,
what, like
I'm
25?
30."
Oh shit. Okay, never mind. All that. Yes, got one. Got one. Sorry,
Yeah, I'll
the
be
new place
31
that
this
I
month.
work at, bro. Like
Yeah.
I'm one of the older ones there, and I'm not
Hmm.
used to that, dude. I'm
Yeah.
working around like a bunch of 22-year-olds
Oh
and
man.
like 23-year-olds. And I'm
Yeah.
just like,
It's got to be rough.
that's not bad. Some of
Yeah.
them are all right.
Yeah.
I like basketball, so that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, but overall, like what we've seen the past few years is we've seen all the younger generation. They all want to blame the older generation for all of these economic hardships and stuff like that. It's like you had it so much easier. Look at the house that you could buy back then,
Right.
and look at what we can afford now. And everybody's screaming, "Do something different! Do something different!" And then finally, got somebody who's actually doing something different, and now everybody's flipping out. This guy is more libertarian than I would consider. I would, if we were to look at him like 2 decades ago, he would, with his same positions right now, he would be considered a Democrat. But now the political landscape has just shifted drastically. But everybody was screaming, "Do something about it!" We're living so much worse than our parents and our grandparents. It's like, okay, well now he's doing something drastic about it, and everybody's flipping out. It's like, you guys said do something different, and he's doing something different. Now you're upset about it. It's like, do you want him to actually try to do something different or not? And of course, he can always say, well, he's doing it for his own benefit, this and that. He's losing out on his own money. He's lost millions of dollars just doing this stuff. So he has no freaking fiscal motivation. But yeah, I don't know. I can see this
I'll
going
be
in a
honest
good
with you,
direction.
Julius. They're probably gonna do. They're the people that I have on my demographic. They're probably gonna light you up, dude.
Oh, that's fine.
I
That's
mean,
fine.
I'm cool with it, man.
No, I thrive.
I love to see the conversation started.
Yeah, I am getting heavily involved in politics now. I'm a part of two different pretty big political organizations right now. I got into them by saying, hey, I'm gonna work security for you guys. I can do this for you guys and help you guys out there. But I'm meeting up. I've met up with some pretty cool people, high profile people, some of them. So I'm getting pretty heavily involved. So when it comes to getting lit up and whatnot, I thrive in that stuff. I love debates. I love to do
You're
all of this.
literally
So
like Jordan Belfort right now, bro. Like you're giving
yeah.
Jordan Belfort vibes for sure, bro. From the mesh shirt, glasses.
Yeah,
Dang, bro, dude, you're
yeah.
too cool sometimes, bro. Too cool.
I
So,
appreciate it.
like, would you say
Hmm.
from just all of your experience, because a lot of y'all don't know, is I met Julius through cannabis, and like the majority of my show is about like smoking weed, but I'm
Hmm.
really trying to get away from that.
Yeah.
But I am smoking on some select.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, it's not bad. It's not. Julius doesn't smoke weed. He might, but his constituents would say he doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got you, but it's not bad. So like through your security job,
Hmm.
he was security guard for us at a dispensary, and then I left, and then it wasn't too long that he left. Where did you go from there?
So I can do just a bit of an introduction, and that'll just kind of take them through just the string of things. So
Let's get it.
yeah, so I joined the U.S. Marine Corps. I was an 0311 infantryman. Afterwards, I got out, worked on Wright-Patterson Air Force Base for about 2 years, and then did some work at this tactical laser tag place as a manager and a technician. Then I moved here, got into security work with a paramilitary group, and through them, we started contracting with cannabis dispensaries, and that's where I met. That's where I met this fine man here, and yeah, and then after that, in 2022, I co-founded my humanitarian organization. We started work there, getting boots on the ground. Did a lot of work. We're responsible for probably sending thousands of people that wanted to go over there to do various capacities of work. I won't get specific about it, but we would have this
Classified.
we'd have this donor flight program where we would connect people to these rich Wall Street people or whatever, to people who wanted to go over and volunteer, whether it be surgeons, construction workers, veterans, etc. And these donors, after we connected them, they would see if they wanted to pay for their tickets, sometimes first class tickets, send them over there to do some good work, awesome good work. And then um, I left the paramilitary company. Now I'm doing private security for another company, and on top of that, I'm working on becoming a private detective as well. So currently working on that, and along with that, I am co-founder of a expedition organization. We got back from New Orleans
This guy.
not long ago. We were searching for Jean Lafitte's treasure, and the first day we were doing a paranormal episode. So we went and we were doing this kind of wild goose chase where we were looking for vampire empress, and we ended up finding her, and we got into this exclusive type club because she had to give us a passcode to get in there. It was kind of cool.
Is it like a cat, like searching for cash, or
Uh,
like a cash type of
so,
search, or what?
so the second day was the Jean Lafitte's treasure hunting kind of day. So that's based in legitimate history. So Jean Lafitte was a real pirate, and him and his crew, they had treasures, all along these islands and inside of the New Orleans swamp area, in between New Orleans and Waveland, actually. There are all sorts of stories. So we're just following that legend, and we're trying to. We've got all this fancy gear and equipment. So we do investigations into these stories, and we look at Google Maps and look at old maps as well. We kind of overlay them against each other, and we try to track down where potential spots might be to find gold, treasure, relics, anything like that. Relics too, which we found a cool. We
Yeah.
found a few cool relics. We still need to polish them up. That way, we can actually see what they were. But that Project Initium is that organization that I founded, and then of course, the other thing I'm doing is getting heavily involved into politics because as I'm sure
The
people
change
can
you want to see, I guess.
yeah, as people can probably see by now, I'm the type of guy who I don't like to talk the talk. I like to also walk the walk. I'll do both of it. I'll do both things. I'm going to talk the talk and I'm going to walk the walk. I can't stand, just sitting back and, just watching these comment sections, commenting back and just like, oh, you're such a piece of shit. You're not even doing anything. And it's just like, yeah, well, I'm gonna actually do something.
It's like we out
I'm
here.
sure people can guess. I'm definitely a conservative, and I am also one that supports Ukraine. So I'm a very interesting character. My views are not black and white. They're in the they're all over the place. People are probably going to assume a lot about my views, but they're probably going to get most of them wrong, and that's
Dude,
the funny thing.
I can only imagine
Hmm.
what is they're gonna say, man. And I'm really stoked about it,
Yeah.
to be
Oh,
honest with
me
you.
too.
I'm
Yeah.
really stoked to hear about it. And
Yeah.
we here at It'll Puff, um, got my own views. I don't follow his views. I got my own.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm very respectful towards
Yeah.
him.
It's all about talking. You want.
Whatever you decide, I'm with,
Hmm.
man.
Yeah.
I'm vibing. I'm ready to hear the
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah. Absolutely. When
So,
discussions stop, that's when chaos ensues. And we
absolutely,
gotta. Everybody has to keep on talking. You have to find common ground. You've gotta really just understand one another's position. Each side wants to dehumanize the other side, and it's just like I can look at the other side and I can be like, for example, I can't stand socialists, but I look at them and I'm like, I can understand where your heart is. Like
yeah,
your
yeah.
heart is in the
Your
right
heart
place.
and soul is in
You
the
just
right
want
place
what's
for
better
me.
for everybody, and it's like I understand that. I have plenty of sympathy for you. It's like, but it's a dumb way to go about it.
So, with all of that being said, please hit the comments because let's talk, let's chat, let's see what we can drum up.
I'll be
Let's
in the
see what
comments
conver-
too.
Absolutely. Ab- so my question is like
Hmm.
with everything that you've done in just the past few years and everything that like you want to achieve,
Hmm.
where do you go from here, man? Like where's the step up?
Hmm. There's a lot of directions I'm going, and the step up is, of course, I'm going to be attending uh, heavy. So I intend on hopefully gaining influence where I can shift the political landscape. For example, just as a small example, in Ukraine's favor, my own party overall doesn't really support Ukraine. Marsha Blackburn, she does. She's pretty cool. She's Republican.
I don't know
Uh,
what that is, but
she was Republican over the state of Tennessee, but she she's really cool. She supports Ukraine, but overall, it's trying. I take it harder on my own side than I do the other side. So it's kind of I have this similar type philosophy when it comes to my family and friends. If they're messing up in some capacity, they're acting out. I'm gonna take it harder on them than I would some stranger, for example. It's the same thing with my party,
mm-hmm.
Republicans, conservatives. When they're acting fools, when they're saying bullshit about Ukraine, I'm like, no, this isn't how it's going to be. And I tear into them. I tear into them hard. I know all the history. I know I know the history thoroughly, and I can tear somebody apart just like that. And I do constantly. I was
And
doing it today.
I can honestly attest to that because
Yeah.
when me and this dude used to work together, I'd get up at 5 in the morning to come work out with him, and like every morning it was like there's one person that will forever live in my heart because of you, and that's Chesty Pullum.
Chesty Puller.
Hey,
Yep,
hey,
Chesty Puller, the our Marine Corps god.
shout out, Simplify, man. That's
Hell
right.
yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
okay?
Simplify.
Okay,
Yep, yep. Always
yeah.
faithful.
Shit, dude.
But I mean, like you said, back to your question, where do I go from here? I go up I'm going up various landscapes. I'm going up the political landscape. I'm gonna pull some strings the best I can, gain enough influence to where I can pull strings and on very influential guys. I've met a lot of influential people, built a lot of connections, strong connections with them through this way. So I'm a very proactive guy. I'm going to walk the walk, and I'm going to do what I think is necessary. I'm going to keep on doing humanitarian work and hopefully grow my organization. We're working on growth right now. We're doing a lot of huge things. And then, oh yeah,
Huge.
huge. and then of course my expedition organization. We're going to keep on going up there. Our goal is to become independent, where none of us need to work. All we need to do is do work through my expedition stuff, um, and
Shoot,
then
holler at
private
me on one
detective
of
work
them,
as
bro.
well. Yeah, oh, absolutely. You're welcome to come. And then, of course, private detective work. So, I'm going to be doing work through that. I figured that was just kind of a good path to go, a good, kind of route to take since I'm already in private security. I do a lot of stuff
Need you
as
to
far
make
as
me
that
a
goes.
promise though.
What's your problem? What's the promise you need?
As my homie,
Yeah.
if you are a private detective